Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this content development process. I want to teach you how to create engaging content and remarkable content and amazing content and all of those things that you use with your social media posts, email sequences, sales pages, all of those things combined to help you reach more qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, there are several links. One of the links there is for the Content Calendar Blueprint program. It's an email-based training that's more of a comprehensive guide to not just showing you how to set up your content calendar, but to actually develop a strategy around it and how to make sure that you have the content that goes in the content calendar to help you grow your business. Another link that you're going to see is for the Marketing Strategy Collective program. This is my group program on Patreon. And you'll hear me talk about this, time and time again, about clients that I work with, about, the monthly Zoom calls that we do, and the conversations that we have. And this is the program that I'm talking about. So you see the links below, and you know what to do to learn more. Alrighty then. So today's video, we're going to kind of wrap up this whole month of mid-year review content that I've been sharing. And I want you to think about this place that you're in. I want you to think about, the reviews that you've done. I want you to think about where you are right now with your marketing, with your business goals. Are you feeling behind? Are you feeling on track? Are you feeling like, oh, this is just not working for me. Maybe I should just throw the whole thing out and start all over again. If this is where your mind is going and you're kind of cycling around and you're looking at your numbers and you're seeing all the things that are working and things that are not working, and you're not sure how to move forward, you're just like, I'll just start all over. Let me stop you right there. And this is what I want to talk about today. Because I'm going to make a good, educated guess that you don't need a brand new plan to start all over again. What you need, if you're feeling this way and you're in this space, is a reset. A space to regroup, reflect, and figure out how you're going to move smarter into the second half of the year and not try to push yourself to work harder. So in this episode, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about how to do a marketing reset. And I mean marketing reset for your energy, your plan, your strategies, your messages that you're going to be talking about, how you can do all this without just scrapping it all, because you've built something. And we don't want to just destroy everything just because things may not be working the way you thought that they would be at this time of year. So this episode is for you. If you're in this space that you're feeling uninspired, maybe you're stretched too thin because you've overloaded yourself with the goals and the content that you wanted to create every week. Or maybe you're just like looking at your numbers and you're questioning, why isn't this working? First, let me say this. Your plan is not broken. You are not behind. I think what's going on here is that this is that time in that space for a check-in. And I want you to think about where you're feeling and what's going on. And I want you to listen to the words that I'm going to be sharing with you when we talk about this reset. Because I feel like by the time that I get done with what I'm going to be sharing today, you may actually feel like you're in a much better position than when you first started listening to this episode. So let's get into this today, because one of the things that I want to talk about is the real reason behind why you always go to that space of, I'm feeling stuck, I'm overwhelmed, I'm burnt out, all of those things that we like to say over and over again. Sometimes I kind of wonder if that's part of wearing that whole I'm so busy badge that we like to wear. It could be part of it. But there's another side of it. Because I just think that burnout doesn't always look like exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like we're avoiding the work. Sometimes it looks like we're dreading having to do it. Or once we do sit down and do it, we're completely disconnected from it. And it just turns into one more thing that we have to get done every single week. So we know we got to get our messages out there. We need to read this. I need to be on this. I need to do this. And it just turns into more of a to-do list and things that we're checking off versus looking at it as how it is helping us with our business. So this marketing fatigue, I guess is a good word for it. It often happens when you find yourself in this place right now where maybe you're being reactive and you're working really, really hard, but you're not seeing anything come back to you. Or even worse, you're not sure why something worked. Maybe something, ended up posting and it ended up getting lots of views, getting people to actually take action and to go to your website, and you're looking at it going, I don't even know, was that a fluke? Was that just like the weirdest thing? Why did that even work? And it's the uncertainty. Why am I working so hard and nothing's coming back to me? Or why did this one work? What the heck was that all about? It's this uncertainty that we're having. And that's the whole point behind doing these mid-year reviews, because that uncertainty is what drains your energy. It's not that you don't have the ideas. It's not that you don't know how to create. It's that you're creating without the clarity of understanding why something's not working or why something did work and how you can use this information to keep moving forward. And that's where this reset comes in. That's when we look at all this stuff and we can do a marketing reset. Because a marketing reset doesn't start with just taking action on something. It starts with an awareness. And I always say, how do you know where you're going if you don't know where you've been? So we have to use this information to figure out where we've been. And this information, this data, this discovery, this fill in the blank, whatever word you use when you do your mid-year review, it creates an awareness of understanding what's going on with our business, how our business is communicating with our customers, how our products are performing, how our services are getting out there. And so before you create another post, before you think you need to build another sales funnel because that last one wasn't working, press pause. I want you to look at what you've already done. I want you to think about the things that you have been reviewing in your mid-year review. And if you haven't even done a mid-year review and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what she's talking about. I haven't looked at anything except maybe my follower numbers for the past few months. Let me give you a little mini version of a mid-year review. So I'm going to share with you a few questions, and I want you to be honest with yourself. And I want you to answer these. And if you need to hit pause after each one of these questions or to go back and listen to this afterwards and go through these questions again, that would be good. But I really advise you to think about asking yourself these questions. So a mid-year review type of question could be something like, what have I tried? What has been going on in the past 6 months with my marketing? And what you've tried could be things that have failed, things that have worked, but what are you doing? What are you actively working on and putting out there in the past 6 months? And when we look at this information, what content creation felt really good? I really enjoy writing. I really enjoyed, putting that information out there and doing a deep dive and doing my research and all of that. And what felt like a chore? Just putting myself on video and worrying about what my hair looks like and what my shirt I'm wearing that day and what I'm using my hands to talk or whatever it is. Or maybe it's just the reverse. You enjoy doing videos and you hate writing. Thank goodness you had, Chat GPT to help you work through your copy on that. What felt good for you to be creating and what felt like it was draining you, like it was a chore and it was something you just didn't want to do? Think about that. And then if we compare that to what was working and what wasn't working, are they in any way connected to this content that you enjoyed creating versus the one that you did not do? Because if there's a disconnect to something that you feel like a chore that you're doing and it's still doing really well, you need to look into that. Why is it doing really well? Why did it work? Was it the topic itself? Was it the headline? Was it the keywords that you use? Take a look and see why it's working. And if it didn't work, if something you really thought was going to go really, really well and it just kind of flopped over, why didn't it work? Why didn't what happened with that offer? What happened with that marketing message? What happened with posting on a specific platform? What's going on there? And what do you need to know about to do this differently next time? And when we answer these types of questions and we dig into exactly what's going on within our marketing, and it's not just about checking our vanity metrics, not just about checking our followers. Followers do not equal sales. Marketing content that resonates with our customers does. So doing this kind of review is not about judging yourself. It's about understanding what's going on in your business. It's about understanding your marketing and how you're connecting or you're not connecting to your customers. Because when you name what's working and you see what's not working, you can free yourself from second guessing, from just pushing forward because this is the stuff that you've always done, and then in December you're going to find yourself in the same exact place that you found yourself now, except instead of 6 months down the road, you're going to be 12 months down the road, and you're going to be heading into a new year. So let's talk about how you can start to reset this marketing. Just a few ways that you can think about resetting your marketing energy, your marketing time, your marketing focus. So before I get into this, how do we reset our marketing energy? I just want to remind you, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because the more subscribers that I have here, the more businesses are able to find this content, and I'm able to help them with their marketing. All right, so let's walk through 3 strategic ways that you can think about how you can reset your marketing without having to start completely over. One of the things that you can do and be very strategic about it is repurpose what you've already worked. This is such a huge piece of our marketing that I'm actually going to be spending the next month focusing on how you can repurpose your content, what you could be repurposing, and how to be more effective with it. So if we think about one post or one video or even an email that performed really well, look at it and think about how you can breathe new life into this. Maybe the blog post can turn into a video series. Maybe you can rework it from LinkedIn into Instagram. You can pull out a quote from that blog post and then you can set it up as an Instagram post and build a whole new conversation around it. So you don't always have to create brand new content from scratch. You can create and repurpose what you've already created that is already resonating with your community. So another thing that you could do, another way that you could reset your energy and your marketing as well, is reconnect with why you started. That's a really important piece right now, because I think that sometimes when we get to these mid-year reviews and we're looking at numbers and we're looking at this and why isn't this working and what's this working, we kind of start thinking about it from the perception, that was the word I was looking for, from the perception of not the data, the numbers, trying to break it down, try to figure it out. But there's more to it than that. I want you to come back to yourself and your business. Did you actually do some storytelling in any of these posts that are working? Are you sharing some personal stuff? And I don't mean, the journaling or sitting here telling me that you've been waiting 3 hours for the UPS truck or whatever. And I don't mean that kind of personal stuff, but sharing you and your business. Is there clarity in your messages? Is it showing people a transformation, how they can see themselves in this transformation, something that you've taken clients through, something that you yourself have gone through? So I want you to think about how, if you can, you're especially if you're feeling, I don't want to say yucky about but if you're feeling like you are getting disengaged with your own marketing, because often what performs well is what feels most true to you. And if you are feeling disengaged and you feeling like, stuff's working, it's not working, I don't even know anymore, you have completely taken you out of your marketing. So I want to tell you that this reset is your sign to come back. Come back to your own authentic self, to your own voice, to bringing your stories back into your marketing, to show why your business and you are the one that has the solution to their problem. And for them to do that, they need to connect with you, and they need to do more than just click on your website and read a blog post. So another thing that you can do to reset your energy, your marketing energy, is to refocus. And I want you to think about this. And again, I gave you a really simple pared down version of doing a mid-year review with a few of my questions. This is a really simple pared down version of what to do with the information that you've learned and how to just keep moving forward. So when you've done those questions, you've figured out the things that are working, that's not working, the things that need to be improved, that need to be tweaked, that things to, all of these things that are, showing signs of connecting with your customers, showing them that you're bringing them down the path, down into the sales funnel, and all of those things. So I want you to think about these three things. This is what I want you to do to take action. I want you to think, what's one thing that you can improve? What's one thing that you can amplify? Something that you can do more messaging for, something that you could put into the marketing mix a lot more so than you have been doing before. And what's one thing that you can let go of? And that's a really important piece right there. So we've got one thing to improve, one thing to amplify, to do more of, and one thing to let go of. So if there a platform that you keep telling yourself over and over again that it's just not working for you and I just need to stop spending any of my time posting there, give it a try. Let's see what happens if you take that time and that energy from that one platform that wasn't working and then move it into something that you're going to amplify, that you're going to add to, that you're going to do more of. Let's see if this really affects you. And do this over the next 30 days. This is your next 30-day plan. Don't do a big complicated calendar. I just wanted you to think about this. Be focused and be intentional and create your content with a purpose. So what we're doing here is just simplifying and finding your focus over the next 30 days. So once you can create that focus and you can feel that momentum, this is the shift that you're going to take. This is the thing that's going to help you keep moving forward, because then you can just replicate that every single month to keep going forward, to make sure that you're checking what's going on, you're doing what's working, you're improving things, you're amplifying things, and you're letting things go that are not helpful for you. Because here's the truth that nobody's talking about. You don't always need to do more. What you need to do is less of what's draining you and do more of what's working. Your marketing doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be overwhelming to you. It doesn't need to turn you into a panic to be effective. It needs to be clear. It needs to be intentional. And it needs to come from a place of connection, not you putting pressure on yourself. So take this time to do this mid-year review and do a reset, because you're not just taking back your energy. You're bringing your voice to the forefront. You're making sure that you're focused so that you can reach more customers. So if this episode helped you, take a deep breath and look at your marketing different. I would love to see you do me this favor. Hit the share button and share this with a fellow business owner, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the next series of content where I'm going to be talking about repurposing. And if you're looking for more support to work through this kind of reset in real time, again, the link is below so you can join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective. It's my monthly group program where we go beyond, what should I be posting this week? And we're actually helping you build a marketing strategy that works for your business. We're not just focusing on just, how we're posting or tracking followers. We're talking about content planning tools, and you get real support to stay consistent, and you don't have to work in a solo bubble, and you can finally work in a collaborative space and get the support and the help you need with your content marketing efforts. Because you are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.